Hey y'all, it's Matthew back in the game room with another episode of Watty's channel. And once again, we're taking a look at some of the WWF LJN figures or some of the comparable LJN figures. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than what you're accustomed to. And I mentioned a couple times in past videos, I might have to start changing things up just a little bit. In the past, what I like to do was look at just simply the figures with the same pose. So, for example, you would have a Hulk Hogan Series 1, with its own video, and you'd come back with the Hulk Hogan Series 5 with another. Now, I do have some Hulk Hogan figures that are customized using someone like Jesse the Ventura, for example. Because, yes, it was the same character, but because it was a completely different mold, different body scheme, I didn't want to include those with the Hulk Hogan figures. But as you've seen with the Rick Rude comparable LJNs, where pretty much all three figures were completely different molds, I'm going to have to start doing that with some of my other LJN figures as well. Now, a good portion of them are based on the LJN style with just a simple repaint, but then there's others with completely different molds, and that's what we're going to be looking at today. Today's video is going to feature the British Bulldogs. Now, just a couple figures will include Dynamite Kid. Pretty much all of them are going to be Davey Boy Smith. Now, for me growing up, Davey Boy Smith was the British Bulldog. I was very unfamiliar or didn't know anything about Dynamite Kid. Really not until I started getting into the LJN collecting did I learn of that character and learn about the British Bulldogs. But for me, just one British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, and that was it. Per usual, with many of these comparable LJN videos, what I like to start off doing is taking a look at the original LJN figures, and then we dive into some of the customized figures from there. So, we will start off with Dynamite Kid. Now, these original LJNs that are for my personal collection, these aren't duplicates. I actually got these figures from Andrew Sable, Move Over Swanson on eBay. And like I said, as a collector, if you're looking to get the most crisp, clean figures, I always recommend his shop because he does have some of the best figures with adult collectors in mind. Now, having the British Bulldog as a tag team is incredible. The paint scheme overall is not bad at all. What gets me is this one arm up right here. If they lowered this and made this look like an SD Jones type pose, these figures would be absolutely amazing. But this whole one arm up, kind of like what Random Treasures does with the, who was it? Brown, that's his name. It kind of killed me for a second and I lost track of who I was talking about. So, very playable figures if you're a kid. Absolutely. But this whole one-arm body slam, I'm not a huge fan of that. And when you look at both figures, they are relatively small in comparison when you look at most of the other LJNs. Now, as I mentioned, Davey Boy Smith was the British Bulldog for me. And, when I goof off and kind of, rumble a little bit, I obviously keep this guy out there a lot longer. Don't have as much satisfaction with Dynamite Kid. And that's the thing. When it comes to a lot of these older characters that I didn't really grow up watching, Dynamite Kid being one of them, I don't really know their fighting abilities or what their moves are, things like that. So it's really hard to kind of, really fall in line with the character or be in love with the character or the figures. Overall, they're just complete mirrors of one another. Beautiful figures, absolutely. And of course, they have to have their championship belts because what great tag team doesn't get their championship? That's, crazy. Now, this one right here, I really wanted to make another specialty video for this artist, but because I've already done a lot of comparable LJN videos that featured a lot of the LJN figures, I just decided to skip that part and just dig right into the British Bulldogs. So these figures came from one of my favorite artists on eBay, Robert Jackson. Again, I've talked about his figures, consistently, either Hasbro or LJN. Always amazing work. So, one of the things that makes these a little bit more special than some of the other customs that I have is the simple fact that they stuck with the original LJN mold and gave it the UK color scheme that I know and love with the British Bulldog. Absolutely amazing paint job. Incredible work. And I've talked about these belts again. Kind of have like these little felt inserts here with very strong and sturdy Velcro for it gives you a nice crisp snap when you close these belts. For the most part, I haven't been a huge fan of the laminate belts, but like I said, Robert, the way he makes these are so incredible, and again, you always get this nice crisp snap with the belts, and unlike a lot of the other belts I get, where they basically just fall right off, it kind of detracts from the overall appearance of the figures. So we got we got Dynamite Kid, and then Davey Boy again, exact figure. No real change as far as the scheme of the colors. The only thing that I really noticed that they switched up here, obviously they kind of mirror everything, not just the arms up, but they mirror the colors. So, right leg blue, left leg blue, red switched up. They also got the little flags on the bottom, which is pretty nifty, that they kind of, obviously mirror that as well. That is so awesome. And, overall paint job and everything, like I said, crisp and cleanness of these figures, amazing. And this is one of those reasons why I will go with Robert Jackson for pretty much not everything, because again, I kind of want to spread the wealth out there a little bit. There are a lot of great artists out there, but this is just, you want some of the best work, I always recommend this seller. And these last couple figures I do have, they are custom of Davey Boy, and they are completely different molds. We will start with the Wrestling Rider version. Now, there are so many positives to take away from this figure. First and foremost, the head sculpt is absolutely amazing with the perfect bushy hair, which is fantastic. The only downside about this figure, and I mentioned it in previous videos, Eric, Wrestling Rider on eBay, and we kind of talked about it prior to my purchase, and we kind of joked about it, where his head is kind of like pushed in some, which I don't know if it necessarily detracts from the overall figure, but solid nonetheless, and absolutely incredible paint job all around with this figure. And he kind of compares this with the 1J Ruggs 79 on eBay. So John Ruggiero had a very similar figure with this amazing UK flag strapped over the pants. Pretty much similar. Again, not identical. They obviously have their own color scheme for the most part. Absolutely remarkable. This figure actually won, as you know, with my LJN tournament. I took a lot of the same figures. The British Bulldogs went up. Davey Boy went up against all the other Davey Boy figures, and I chose the best one among those to move on to the next round. And I did choose the John Ruggiero figure to move on to round 2. Now, there are a couple things, major things that stand out about this figure. The one thing that kind of put it over the top, of course, was the built-in accessory, which is absolutely amazing. I also like they kind of gave him these little dreadlocks and a little white little pieces at the end there. The one downside of this figure is that the appearance is just a shade too cartoonish. So you have this fantastic 3D mold of the head. That actually looks like Davey Boy Smith in the face. And again, very cartoony. Obviously, when you want to compare it to the actual LJN figures, they both look kind of cartoony to an extent. You're not really losing much there. It's a fantastic figure. And they took like I want to say this was Ted Arcidi. You know, Ted Arcidi, Bam Bam Bigelow, they got similar fighting pose like this, and then I think they kind of switched this up. Probably cut up a Greg Valentine, and took the left arm, made it right, vice versa. So that pose, obviously, again, I'm obsessed with my fighting poses, so that is something that absolutely 100% got me as well. So, fighting pose, the accessory, the incredible paint job. This at the time moved on to my next round. I don't remember how far this figure went. At some point, I'm probably going to talk about redoing the LJN tournament again. I know a couple guys have asked me about that. Maybe in another Q&A video that I make, maybe I'll discuss that a little bit further. So, for the most part, that is the British Bulldogs LJN figures. And like I said, I'm going to have to start doing this more often with some of the other figures, like the Hulk Hogan, where I'm going to have to... I'm thinking I'm not going to include it with other Hulk Hogan figures. What I'll probably do is, because I only have one Jesse Ventura, that's an original, I might do a video where it's Jesse Ventura / Hulk Hogan, because, again, they took a couple Hulk Hogan, a couple of Jesse Ventura figures and turned them into Hulk Hogan. Also, let's see what else is on the itinerary. So there are figures like Earthquake. I'm just kind of like looking at my figures over here. I got those from Print Fury. And Kevin, he had two really great figures. They're both resin, so not anything that you would do other than for display purposes. So I'm probably going to put that in a video with maybe another figure or two, another character or two, because again, I only have two figures. So that's something I'm thinking about in the future. Is it going to happen in the next video, next couple videos? Probably not. It's probably going to be further down the list. So this video actually went a whole lot faster than I expected. I mean, not really too much to say other than, just to kind of give the viewers a chance to recap some of the absolutely fantastic work. And right now, to be honest, if I had to choose and go back and redo my tournament, I might choose these figures. And I might choose them for a couple reasons. Yes, I absolutely love the color scheme and paint job on the figures, but also because they kind of stick with the original mold of the LJNs. That obviously means a whole lot to me as well. But you cannot take away the amazing artistry of the British Bulldog from Wrestling Writer, or the one from the 1J Ruggs 79, John Ruggiero. Both amazing figures. Love their paint scheme. Love the bushiness of the hair. I mean, so many positives. I really think the British Bulldogs, in my opinion, probably have some of the best figures. And not fighting pose, obviously, but just simple design and, throw in like the accessories. So I'm trying to think what's going to come up. At some point, I'd like to probably not do a full review, but I've gotten so many new original San Francisco box sets in. So when I did my review several months ago, I had a good chunk of the figures, so it definitely made for a fun video, or fun videos. I did a series per video. And so I've gotten so many new additions that I figured I'd like to include those in a new video. Some of the box sets are up behind me with the Legends of Professional Wrestling. Since I made that video, I probably acquired 5 new figures. Tony Atlas being one of them. I've got both of the Iron Sheik figures, bloody and non-bloody versions. I got a new, I think I got the bloody version of Nikolai Volkov. And of course, those figures were not a part of the original video I made. I was missing those at the time. I think Bob Orton is still the only figure that I'm missing. So, of the, I think it was 15 series, 13 series, something like that. I think the only series I'm missing is 13, which is the Bob Orton. And everything else, I have at least one figure, bloody or non-bloody version. But I'm pretty much at 2 per series, so I'm almost at 100%. Right now, if I come across them. I'm not actively searching for them, so it may be a while before I complete that collection. But if I do find something out, I'll try and submit a fair offer and see if it's accepted. If it's not too crazy, otherwise I'll just buy it up as is. Got a couple new LJN wrestling rings coming in. So, guys, man, that's it's so awesome to get those in. Obviously, you have definitely pay up for those rings, but man, I've been trying to acquire those forever, and every time I try to bid on them, they sell for like $450. So, maybe not that expensive, but I mean, in the $250 range, up to closer to $300 possibility. I wanted those rings, but man, I just couldn't reach it. I couldn't touch it, not at that price. But I bought a couple recently. I bought one right as a buy it now for $200. It was on auction, but I didn't want to take the chance to have it, go crazy, be crazy price. So I bought that up. I bought another one where I paid a little over $100 for it. And the great thing about it, they come with the original box. And so I'm going to display at least one ring, possibly both of them. And of course, I'm going to have that little ring box probably displayed over here with that little Wrestling Superstars carrying case. Do I really need that case? Nah, it's display. It's just something to kind of like sit out with the rest of the collection, looking really nice. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Some of the things I'm changing around the room. Every time I turn on YouTube, obviously a lot of my videos are right there on the main screen, so I'm constantly just having like some of my videos playing in the background, just background noise or whatever. And the room tour video keeps popping up, and I keep saying how it was when I did that video towards the end of June, and the way it sits now. I'm not gonna do another room tour, but things are definitely coming together. As I mentioned, I've been buying up a ton of those Royal Rumble and WrestleMania cassette tapes. So I'm probably got halfway through the 90s complete for Royal Rumbles. And I think I'm missing... So 1 through 8, I'm missing WrestleMania 4. So that's something. Hope you guys don't mind. Just kind of walk and talk with me for a while. I don't want this video to be extra short. That's why I'm trying to add some additional information on here. I'm like crazy excited about this stuff. Right now, I'm just basically trying to fill wall space. So now if there's any kind of blank spots, I'm pretty much filling it in with whatever I've got available. And to acquire every single Hasbro tag team on card, I really had no idea how expensive those things would sell for. And Demolition, not exactly the best. I can understand like the Nasty Boys or Legion of Doom, but once you get into like Demolition for like $200 plus, guys, I know what you guys think, but I promise you, I am not rich. Yeah, so this is the display case that I've been talking about for like months, and you've seen some of the stuff in my previous videos. I mean, none of this is unique or out of the question. You know what? This would actually make a better camera than my main phone because I can actually see what you guys see. Alright. The one thing I'm hating right now is that right there at the top. I try my best to hang those up, make them nice and line up nice and crisp, but it just didn't come out well. So right now, all of the LJN posters, I'm going to have to find a spot for them because I got to get them off the wall. They keep falling down and it just doesn't look good. I am missing LJN Series 1 Hulk Hogan. So if anybody is selling it or knows someone that is selling one of those LJN Hulk Hogan Series 1 posters, definitely interested. Anything else? No, not really. I mean, that's pretty much everything. Alright, folks. Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned it at the beginning of this video. I just got back from the eye doctor today, and they put like eye drops in my eyes, so I gotta basically be like way up on here to kind of read the number on here. I think we're at 18 minutes, but it's kind of blurry, so I can't really tell. I think that's long enough, and not exactly the greatest video I've ever made, but it's something. Hopefully, you guys get a kick out of the different combination of figures, and yeah. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, obviously you know how much I love to read them. So do what you do, and I appreciate y'all. Talk to y'all soon. Goodbye for now.